Hello and welcome to the Peno channel. We're back after a comprehensive, well, I don't know about comprehensive actually, but after a good victory against AZ Alkmaar last night in the Europa Conference League at home at Villa Park. Bro, we were both at the game yesterday. How you doing first, and then what's your thoughts and feelings about the game?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm all good, man.
Thoughts on the game. Very relieved to get the 3 points and just happy now we're in a better position for qualifying.
Yeah, I agree. Just been thinking about the game yesterday, today, and the main overarching point is we're just close to qualification now. We'll only take a point. So, yeah, just very happy that we got the result in the end. And yesterday, throughout the day, I was looking forward to the game, big tie against probably the biggest team in our group. And we just wanted to get the victory. That was the main operative. I didn't really care about how we got it. You want to play nice football and stuff, but just getting the points is because in the long run, it means that in future games we can look to rest players if we do get that point in the next game, and just take it easy going through to the next stage of the tournament. Uh, Initially, thoughts on the starting lineup and what you saw. Were you happy with the lineup?
Yeah, I think the only surprise I had was Konza starting over Cash, and I think that was due to injury. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
the
agree.
rest of the team, I think, are pretty much predicted would be the case. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I felt that way. I think we had a discussion on the last pod about what we thought the lineup would be, and we did pick out that possibly Konza would come in for Cash because Cash had just returned from injury. He got a slight niggle against Nottingham Forest, and there was videos of him training on the Wednesday. So as a precaution, I think Emery just looked to bring him on at some point, which he did. Yeah, apart from that, did he was pretty much what was expected. Dougie getting a rest for Tielemans. Um, Moreno, I didn't think was ready yet to start, and he didn't even get any minutes in the end. Also, seeing Bailey come back into the side, I think that was as expected.
Yeah, I think with Moreno, Emery said since that he doesn't want to bring him on in a game state. That's not easy. He wants to bring him on when we're like maybe 2-3 nil up in the game, and he can come into his rhythm, and it's not too much pressure on him. So that makes sense. It was 1-1 late into the game. So yeah, man, I can now understand why Moreno didn't get any minutes because he's fit. He's ready to play, man. He's ready to
Yeah, yeah.
play. So let's see. Maybe in the Fulham game, hopefully, if we're in a good game state, if the score lines reflecting like a good performance, whatever, we can see him in like the last 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, definitely. Could see that happening. Uh, I think also Zaniolo coming out of it. I think it was just for Bailey because he played so well against AZ Alkmaar away from home. It was just time for him to come back into the side. Went strong up front, played both Diaby and Watkins as well. So we went out there to get the 3 points, and we played a relatively strong side. So not too many surprises within that. Um, Going into the game, then started off really well, took the lead. There's a bit of contention about the goal and whether it should have been disallowed or not. I've seen a few things. Well, basically, it was disallowed initially. Clement Lenglet would have been his first goal for Villa. Initially, the ball came across from the corner. Watkins got his head on it. The defender's done well to clear it off the line. The ball's ended up back at Bailey, who's then crossed it in again for Lenglet to head in. Now, when we were heading back, we heard reports that basically Watkins had come out and said that the officials came in at half time and said apologised for disallowing the goal. They said they got it wrong. But then there's been a few tweets I've seen of people stating that possibly within the laws that it is considered as the same phase of play if someone is clearing the ball away from goal or an opportunity that's entering the goal and the defender, makes a motion to clear the ball off the line. That can be considered as the same phase of play. That's why Bailey could have been given as offside, and the officials have actually apologised for no reason. So it is interesting. What were your thoughts about it when the goal went in, and from what you've heard since? Do you think it was a goal or not a goal?
It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. It's like it's such a blurred line with the like new phase of play and what actually counts as one. So when the goal went in, part of me did feel like there was something just not there with it. Like watching the referee as well, like he had his hand to his ear, so we know he was getting spoken to about the goal and it might get ruled out. So yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it was very interesting. You don't know what phase to play. It's hard. It's hard to decipher. I think because the ball is going on goal, I'd stay that as the same phase, not a new phase. If someone just kicks the ball away, that's a new phase of play. But there was like a discrepancy between is it a deflection or if someone tries to block it or if someone actively clears the ball knowingly. And the defender has done. He's got back onto the line and he's actively cleared it off the line, like headed it away from goal. So yeah, few discrepancies in the laws there. The laws are confusing anyway regarding that. So given or not given, it's a difficult one to decide. So yeah, that was a strong start. And then apart from that, in the first half, that was it really. We just didn't really get into gear. I felt in the first half it was just a bit scrappy. Decisions going either way. Not really much to talk about. They did have a good chance in the first half. Pavlidis, I don't know how he put it wide, to be honest. The ball's come across and he's touched it and it's gone wide. The high line again was doing its job, catching him offside on numerous occasions within that first half. So yeah, it was a bit nitpicky. Anything you wanted to point out from the first half?
It didn't feel like we was connecting with our forward players. It felt like there was a bit of static between like our midfielders and our forward play. Didn't feel choreographed. It didn't feel connective. I don't think DRB had the best of games. He looked a bit confused. The ball again, like coming off him. Watkins wasn't really too involved. Bailey was making some nice progressive forward runs, I thought, but even then, he wasn't making the right decision, or like the ball's getting trapped under his feet a bit. And I kind of thought our two midfielders, like Kamara and Tillemans, were a bit slow in possession as well. So yeah, it weren't really happening for us in the first half, in my opinion. Um, I understand our build up again was baiting the press and waiting for them to come forward. And Martinez, he was quite funny at the time. He was near the halfway line. It felt like from our perspective, the amount of space that he was allowed to just walk in with the ball. But yeah, just felt like there was a lot of like static in our play between players.
Yeah, I seem to agree. The most interesting thing from that first half was probably the Alkmaar fans giving it large to Martinez whenever he was doing that and taking his time on the ball. And then we realised, the clock that he saved a few penalties against the Dutch in the World Cup, didn't he? So
Yeah,
kind of made sense then.
They're still in their feelings, man. So
Yeah, I think we'd be the same. Even though it's been coming up to a year now. But yeah, they were giving him some stick every time he was taking his time on the ball. But that's the way we play now. There's still a few fans here and there who are like lumping it from when we were there. It's just the way we play. Get used to it because that's how we're going to set up for the majority of games at home. And if we're good enough to do it, we'll start setting up like that against the bigger clubs as well. So it's just all about baiting the press, and Martinez will take as long as he needs to before the opposition make that move. And that's what we were experiencing at times yesterday. Possibly the actual build-up itself was slower than usual, which I can agree with once
I
the
agree
ball
with that.
got to the centre backs.
That would be a better criticism that it was quite not slower in the sense of like we're in control of the speed, but in terms of like the passing itself felt a bit slow, especially from our midfielders. Yeah, if the ball felt stuck in their feet, it didn't feel like we were progressing the ball quick enough. So that would be a better criticism than the actual Martinez part itself, I think.
Yeah, and you go in at half time and it's like, well, hopefully second half. It felt like a bit of a Forest hangover that first half, especially with the goal not going in. That early goal would have changed the whole complexity of the game. But after that early goal didn't go in, it just felt like a bit of a hangover from the Forest game. And second half, you just want to come out.
Say one more point before we get onto the second half. They did have a lovely piece of football that they played for the offside goal. I thought that was quite.
Yeah, they did.
They did. That little dinked ball into the box, and then the guy makes the right decision, plays it across. So yeah, I was very grateful that goal got disallowed. But it was a nice piece of football from them, I thought.
Yeah, it was Jordi Classy played like a nice dink through ball. They squared it across, and think it was Pavlidis that knocked it in. Yeah, that was a nice bit of play from them. We got to see that from where we were sitting quite up close, and it was nice. Yeah,
and I think he had a shot as well at Pavlidis that Martinez did well to save as well.
Yeah.
Nice little save there. Yeah. So yeah, they had chances themselves. To be fair,
yeah, it was fairly even that first half. I felt. Second half, you go into it. Okay, Villa need to just impose themselves now on the team and on the game. And we did the opposite. It didn't go that way at all. It went the opposite, and it ended up with AZ Alkmaar taking the lead through Pavlidis. As I said, the high line, it may seem like it catches us out quite a lot, but with a lot of the decisions, we get them in our favour. They are giving us offside, and they are offside decisions. So although fans, and myself included, have our hearts in our mouths for that few seconds because the ball's gone over the top and beat our defence, it very rarely actually works because they are offside or the ball ends up with Martinez sweeping. But we did get caught out with it, and it led to a one-on-one. And a striker in that form, I think he's got 15 goals this season. He's going to finish that chance. I think he had one just before where Martinez made a decent save, and he's gone through again, and he's buried it. He's put it away. It's a good finish.
He's a decent player. He is, I think.
Yeah, he's very active. He's quite for his size. I didn't think he'd be as mobile, but he does get about. He does pressure the centre backs as well. Yeah, I think he's.
And he's not striker. He's not old at all. I thought he was maybe like late. Like I thought he was maybe like 33. He's only 24. Like for his size and build, like he's decent. I think he's a decent little player. They got there. Him and I thought that Sadiq was good as well.
Yeah,
Sadiq was okay for them. But yeah, we got caught out with a high line once, and it's a decent finish to be fair. Like you're going 1-on-1 against Martinez, he's going to do everything to put you off, and he's managed to stay composed. So yeah, not the ideal start to the second half. I think that was like the 52nd minute they scored.
Yeah.
And you know what our style of play is like when we go a goal behind, it's way harder to get back into the game.
Yeah, we have a pretty weird record currently about the start of the second half and how many goals we concede. It's starting to catch up on us a bit. There's quite a number of games where we seem to concede in the start of the second half. Top of my head, I think of Brighton, I think of Forest, I think of this one. I'm sure there's a number of us as well that I've seen that there's a record where Villa would concede the most goals from between 45 to 60 minutes, and we're at the top of the table currently for that this season. So something's going on. Either they're chilling at half time, they're relaxing, and they're not as sharp or aware at the start of the second half, and other teams are capitalising on that. I think another one, West Ham as well, Jared Bowen. That was quite close, I think. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but we just seem to be getting caught out at the start of the second half for some reason, and that was the wake-up call we needed because we didn't get into the game at the start of that second half at all, and from there on in, we managed to change the tie, and it started off with Diego Carlos getting his first goal for Aston Villa with a header from a corner. What do you think about the goal? We got the corner, which looking back on it shouldn't have been a corner. We were fairly close to that chance, and it did look like Kamara. He took a touch off one of their defenders, but Kamara actually missed it. He just pulled it high and wide. We've ended up getting the corner from that, and their defending was a bit static, and Bailey's floated the ball into the box, and I think a few players have risen, and Carlos hasn't really rose for it, but it's just ended up coming off his head, and he's guided it bottom corner. Really nice finish from the header. So yeah, what were your thoughts on the goal and the passage of play leading up to that?
Yeah, we definitely got away with one there, like with that corner. I think, like I'll take them all day. Like if it's not a corner, and it makes the goal even sweeter, man. I know I feel bad for Alkmaar fans and that, and it probably weren't. It probably shouldn't have been a corner, but for the ball itself,
was feeling away. I was going to say maybe the officials were feeling away with the first goal. They were like, "Yeah, you know, we'll let them slide here." You do kind of owe them one. Yeah.
But the ball itself, it wasn't really like a cross. It's more like I say like a cross, like a traditional cross, where like you just pull it across and like into a danger. Like Bailey kind of floats it a bit when he's approaching it, and he gets a lot of dip on it. To be fair, and Carlos, first goal, striker, box instincts, and it's a decent little header, man. So yeah, happy for him getting his first goal. And I do think if you look back to our games, maybe Powell Torres' goal against Wolves is an exception, but it does take maybe a set piece or a wonder strike like Duran versus Palace to get us back into games from being a goal down. So that was going to be one of the avenues that we were going to score from. So I'm glad that we took it from a set piece. And another goal for Austin McPhee, man.
Yeah, that's really a massive positive. Even though we changed our style of play so much from, Steven Gerrard's tenure and how we actually play, set piece goals still a big staple for Aston Villa and how many we get, and that's just another one. And regarding Carlos, it's about time he scored. He's had a number of occasions where he's come close to scoring. I think he's the CB that's the most likely of scoring out of all the centre backs that play for us. He always has a chance every game, and finally, when it was most needed, he got that goal. And from there on in, atmosphere changed. We went up another level. Before I get onto that, just a shout out to the Charlie Aitken, the clapping and the applause and the atmosphere that was created for that. It was really good, and I've never seen anything like that with the torches from the phones going across the stands. It was a really nice touch, and yeah, it was a really nice testimony, don't you think?
Yeah, he was, like you said, like that was a spectacle to be involved in with the whole end being like illuminated like that. Like he's pretty awe inspiring. I thought, and a really nice tribute to Charlie Aitken, our record holder for appearances, a record that probably not is ever going to be beaten. What was it? 17 seasons he was at the Villa.
Yeah.
So yeah,
660 odd appearances. Just
it's good to celebrate
amazing.
people that are like cornerstones for the club and that have dedicated like their life to the club. So yeah, thought it was a really fitting tribute. And
Yeah,
I
really
also
was.
I also like the banner as well. I thought the banner was a really nice
Yeah,
touch
it
as well. I
really
thought it was
was.
clear to read the appearances. A photo was used was all good. So yeah, really good tribute.
Yeah, it really was. And yeah, going back to the game and
Yeah,
yeah,
just to
that the
mention on
atmosphere.
Carlos. Sorry,
Yeah,
just to mention on Carlos before. Honestly, his passing, it's beautiful to see because I've never seen a defender at Villa. I know Powell's like it as well. That when he receives the ball, he'll set and he'll play straight away. Like there's so much ambition to his passes, and it's so like nuanced, and it's just a set motion. And honestly, his progressive play is so good. It's just a shame with like the injuries and that he can just never consistently stay fit because he'd be a massive asset, man. But I think physically as well, he's quite strong. But his passing yesterday, 93 touches, 85 out of 87 accurate passes.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Three out of five long balls, won all his aerial duels. Like it's just a progressive monster he is.
It
But it's just a
is.
shame with his injury again as well. It looks like he's going to be out for a bit. So
Yeah,
yeah, big worried on him.
that's just the main concern with Carlos. It's just availability. He's got all the ability and he's a quality centre back, but it's just availability now, and he keeps getting these niggles. Hopefully, I know he's missing the weekend, but hopefully he's back for the international break. I'm sure Emery said something along those lines. He's only a minor knock, but he's a quality defender, and he just needs that period of time to just settle, because he really has settled now after the massive injury, the Achilles injuries last season, and then he's had niggles again this season, missed games, and he was just starting to get set again. And hopefully this is just a minor setback, and he's back for whenever that is, either the Premier League or the next game within the Conference League. But yeah, the atmosphere really did change after that goal, and it just felt like we were getting on top of them again. They had a few chances before the goal as well as scoring, and we just needed that bit of extra quality. So the subs were made. Cash came on, Dougie came on as well, and there was another sub as well, wasn't there? I think
Zaniolo came on.
Zaniolo came on as well. Yeah, and our player of the season last year, probably our best player in my eyes. Douglas
100%
Luiz comes
this
on,
season. Our best player
uh,
again this season. Yeah.
and he just shows the quality. We talked about the little clip ball from Jordi Classy in the first half on their side. That delivery for the Watkins goal is just ridiculous. He's probably about 30 yards, maybe a bit more inside. The ball's come out to him, and he's just managed to pick a delightful chip chip pass, a dink over the top into like about 17, 16 yards away from goal to find Watkins, and Watkins just finished it with a lovely header into the bottom corner. But that pass is just that extra level of quality that Dougie possesses. He's just an all-round brilliant midfielder, and he's one of the best in the Prem. He really is.
And even just looking at his stat line, 16 minutes, 20 touches, 20 passes, all accurate, one big chance created, and that was the goal. And that's about as efficient as you can be often.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me with him these days. His stat line just doesn't surprise me.
Do you get a bit worried, though, that we are having to keep bringing Douglas on in these games, or? I mean, outside the Alkmaar game, I guess that was over at half-time, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't say worried. I think my opinions was Alkmaar kind of, we gave him a good beating away at their place.
Oh, he played against Alkmaar, didn't he? So yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So in the other games, then are you?
No, not necessarily. I wouldn't say I'm worried as of yet. As I said, I think Alkmaar kind of they'd sussed us out a bit after playing us away, and that can happen. It was 2 games back to back. We played them there, and then the next game in the Conference League was them again. So they probably sussed us out more tactically, and that was probably why, it was a bit static within the middle and in the front lines, and they'd kind of read our build up a bit more. I don't know if that would have been the case if we'd have played like a Mostar, or if we'd played Ledger at home. I don't think we would have been as, I don't know, just felt like we'd been worked out. And I don't think that would have been the case if we were playing those teams again, because it'd been a bit more time. But yeah, I just think he just needed that bit of quality on the night last night, and I don't think that's a concern going forward within this competition. In the Premier League's a different story. I think, yeah, I do worry. I know he's close to getting a suspension soon. I think he's on 4 yellow cards. So, if that were to be the case for Spurs, I would be a bit worried, because I just think he's integral to how we play. And, you see the rumours again. You're not surprised clubs are interested in signing Douglas Luiz.
Yeah,
it's a different story with regards and stuff, yeah. But he doesn't surprise me at all. Nah.
If we're going to have the players that we want to progress, like, you're going to have rumours. Like, you just have to accept that, I think.
Yeah, and rumours for all the players, it means that we're doing something right.
I have to say, am a bit worried with our reliance on Douglas. I think if you look at the Mostar game, he had to come on at half-time in that game where we were struggling to break them down. If you look at the original Legia game in the first half, where we just had no midfield control, like the gaps were just ridiculous. And then if you look yesterday, like, we've had to bring him on again to save the game. So I think long-term it is a bit of a worry that we keep having to rely on Douglas to change the game states, personally. But
I hear that. But the Legia one, I don't take as fact, because I think that was a number of factors that affected that performance more than Dougie coming on. I think there was a lot of things that, the back line to start off with was, it just they hadn't played together. You had the cold Callum Chambers coming in. Yuri Tillemans wasn't aware of the system as much as he is now. So I think there was a number of factors with that. I do think you have a point with the Mostar game, for sure, because again, there was times where we were failing to break them down, and we did need that extra bit of quality for Dougie to come on. And again, last night it was required. But saying worried, I don't think I'm worried as of yet. That could change though, because if there's more games in the next 2, and we need a point, and we're still having to rely on bringing Dougie on, that is a bit of a concern. But yeah,
like, would you start him against Legia? Like, just say if he's available.
I don't think I'd start in the next 2 games. No, I wouldn't start in the next 2 games.
Yeah,
no.
That's my.
Even if we were to lose the next one, I don't think I would, because we should be able to qualify with a point from those 2 games without needing Douglas.
More like top in the group, and it, like, if you want to beat Legia, then you could.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I think we can beat Legia without Dougie. I think we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see. It's one of those, we'll see. But he just showed his quality again last night with that assist. And Watkins getting, I think that was his 10th now of the season in all comps.
Yeah, decent little header, to be fair. Couldn't really miss.
Yeah, it was. What's your target for Watkins? What should he be getting this year?
just mentioning on Watkins again, Forest game, big chance today. Or sorry, yesterday, big chance. Like, the kid just always gets chances, man. It's just incredible to see, I think, personally.
Yeah, you're right.
Target,
He's always, yeah.
what, all comps, or I don't,
Yeah, all comps.
I wouldn't really know all comps, to be fair. The target in the Premier League's got to be 20.
Mm.
He's still yet to touch 20. And then target in the conference,
I think he should be looking at 30 all comps.
yeah, 10 in the conference.
30
How
all
many's he got in the?
comps.
Are we including the Hibernian games as well?
Yeah.
So he's
We'll
got like
include
3.
them.
How many's got in the conference now?
I think he's got 5. He's got, yeah. So
Yeah, he scored
Hibernian hat
against twice
trick
against Alkmaar, and
and then
then
Hibernian hat trick. Yeah.
yeah, he's got to be looking at 30, don't you? Yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with that.
30.
30,
I
30 all
think
comps.
30 is a reasonable target. And if he does hit that, he's had another tremendous season.
But yeah, it's got to be 20 in there. It's hard to really see like the goals sometimes. He doesn't always like reflect, if you know what I mean. But like, he can be a bit unlucky with it. But as long as he's still getting the chances, I think, yeah, he could definitely hit the 20 in the Prem.
Yeah, for sure. After that, what were your thoughts from after the goal? Did you feel it was comfortable after that? We kind of saw the game out, apart from the Carlos injury, which was a bit of a downer.
Yeah, it was mad. It felt like we were like 4-0 up atmosphere wise.
Yeah, it did.
When it was just like really one more goal and they've equalised. But yeah, the atmosphere was kind of like this is just going through the motions now, which
Yeah, it did
hadn't
feel
really seen
relaxed.
before. Like one goal ahead in a big European tie.
Yeah, I think the home record, has given us that comfortability as fans. Feel very comfortable when we're in the lead at home, and it's sometimes you can just tell by the atmosphere. Everyone was really relaxed. A season ago, it would be a different story. You'd be on edge. But yeah, we have the confidence in the team now to see out performances. Comment from Perfect Paddock. Hey, hi there. Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, it did feel really comfortable. The one thing I want to point out is when Carlos did go off and Pau Torres came on, I don't know why it is, but seeing 2 left-footed centre-backs just looks weird. I don't know why it is. 2 right-footed centre-backs just doesn't look unnatural at all. I know it's nothing to do with the ability or anything like that, or even how they're playing. I'm just watching the game, and when I watched it, seeing Pau and Lenglet like lining up next to each other, it just looked mad for some reason. I don't know why. How did you think it did, or did it just look natural to you?
I just think, as someone that's left-footed as well, I just think I understand why it looks weird, because I personally think left-footers are more reliant on their strong foot than right-footers. So like, I think left-footers have a weak foot than right-footers have a weak foot, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think the angle to receive from it takes getting used to. So like, if Powell's playing right centre back, the way he's receiving changes, the way it's always going to be first on the left foot as well, and it's just hard. I remember Courtney House used to struggle with it sometimes when he was played right centre back. He'd be able to play like the diagonals across the goal, but in terms of like receiving the ball, and like, it's uncomfortable. So I remember there was one time last night Martinez played it to Torres, and you're even thinking that's a point where you just go off the philosophy and just play it long, because it's an uncomfortable situation. You have to kind of adapt to that, I think. So yeah, that's why I personally think like the 2 left footers is such a problem to have, and why managers don't really use it.
Yeah, I don't even think it just looked really unnatural. It's not even part of any left footer playing right centre back. I just think, I don't know why. Maybe because it's not used to it, and you're not used to seeing it because it's usually 2 right footers. But 2 right footers playing in the back 4, or even like 3 right footers playing in the back 3, it doesn't stand out at all. But yeah, when it's more than 1 left-footed centre back, it just stands out, and yeah, it's a strange one. Yeah, so a great result, all but guaranteed qualification now. It'd be a real disaster if we didn't qualify from this point onwards. Who was your man of the match?
Carlos.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I did think Diego Carlos. I thought Lenglet was very good as well, very composed. I think the 2 centre backs played really well. yeah, I'd say Carlos was my man of the match as well. So finishing off with that, we head on to Fulham this weekend, another Sunday game, which is the norm now due to our European football. Actually, quick one. A few comments on Perfect Paddock. Were you at the game last night? Yes, we were. Do you think we will beat Legia at home? Yeah, I think we will. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we can be on.
Yeah, I think we owe them one as well. Spengdon, Bailey was decent. His goal contributions are racking up. Yeah, they are. They really are. And yeah, he had a very good game as well.
There's an
In the
arg-
first half,
there's an ar-
especially, he was the only one who looked like he was, had any impetus in the game. Out of our attacking players, was the one who's really trying to push the game forward.
there's an argument to say Bailey's showing more than Diaby right now. I think I'm not mad at that argument at all in terms of just like how proactive he looks on the ball. I know the ball can still get stuck under his feet, but in terms of like desire to attack his man and create something, at the moment in the short term, I'd say yeah, you could make that argument. I think.
Yeah, I think there's an argument for both sides. I think Bailey's numbers are stacking up, but then also you look at Diaby's chance creation and his big
He's
chance
decent.
creation and his
Yeah,
numbers,
he's
they're
decent.
up there as well, especially in the league. So just both of them, I want both of them to be flying and playing well. And they'll push us forward, man, because when they're on it, when they're both on it, they're flying and they have that relationship and understanding when they play together as well. Having played for Leverkusen before. Perfect Paddock says I was there last night in A5. Great. It was good, wasn't it? It was a great atmosphere during the game after we got the second, and yeah, it was just one of those nice European nights for Aston Villa, which we've been longing for so long. So going on to the match preview for the Fulham game, then Spendog here, the first one. Do you think Bailey gets a start on Sunday? And
I think
what would your lineup be for Fulham?
I think he deserves a start, but I'm just not convinced that he's going to drop Zaniolo yet. I think genuinely, I think Zaniolo's just his guy. He uses him for whatever he uses him for. I personally don't think Zaniolo should be starting or deserves to be starting. But who am I to say that? But yeah, I think Bailey deserves a start. I'd love to see Diaby Bailey on that right hand side, operate in the way they do. But nah, I think it will just be the same team that was played against Luton
Yeah, I think it'd be the same team
or
as well.
Forest.
Yeah, I think it would be the same team. I think he's set on that structure and that shape and the players that are playing it currently. And maybe, I don't know, possibly Bailey could come in because we're at home and we want to be even more expansive. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Bailey comes into the side. Apart from that, I don't expect to see any other changes. Cash got his minutes last night, so I expect him to come back into the starting lineup. Konza, Pau Torres, Digne. Same midfield. Probably with Zaniolo starting and then Diaby and Watkins up front. Looking at Fulham and how they set up, and they've got Paulinho playing in there. Strong DM.
Good
Very
player.
good player. Very good player. They've had an up and down start, really, haven't they, this season? Marco Silva. What are your thoughts on Marco Silva as a manager?
I mean, on the surface level, you could argue like he's done really well to keep the Fulham side off. I do think they have been a bit lucky in terms of like the goals they concede compared to like the quality of chances to give up. And I think that's testament to how much of a good shot stopper Leno is. Like that was a really good signing from them. Iwobi, Paulinho, midfield, Pereira as well. These are some good players that they've got as well, like Harry Wilson. And then they have the threat in Adama off the bench, our good old friend Adama, who whenever he comes to Villa Park just seems to just do a mad one mazy one that will just get you worrying and then just won't do anything for the rest of the game. But yeah, Muniz is out for them, which is a big loss. I think he's a striker that they rate quite a lot, so I think it will either be Vinicius or Jimenez starting up front for them. Obviously, I still think they like miss Mitrovic quite a bit, but yeah, we really should be putting on a good performance, I feel, and hopefully we can get the results. But yeah, they've got a bit of a transitional threat for them.
Yeah, another one we like the look of and talk about is Anthony Robinson. Very
Yeah,
dynamic
good player.
fullback, gets up and down, very quick, and can sometimes produce that quality as well.
That's the type
Yeah, I
of player
watched
that
it.
Emery likes. I think that would suit the system. He likes some kind of quick feet left backs that can get up the field and put a decent cut back in. So yeah, he's a good player to watch as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I did watch the United game, and they had their chances and they had their moments for sure. And I don't know if United did anything to go by currently with the form that they're in, but yeah, they did play well in certain aspects. I watched them against Chelsea, the Monday night football, and they weren't great that game.
No,
Chelsea dominated them and could have got more. But it will be an interesting game from they're away from Craven Cottage. They'll be looking at the Forest performance that they put up against us, and they might be looking to replicate how they played and look to break on us. Wouldn't be surprised if I saw a bit of pace come in and an Adama start. Oh, that wouldn't be a shock. I know they operate with Harry Wilson and Pereira behind the striker. Maybe Decordova Reed coming in as well.
well, Willian. I think Willian will probably start. You got to remember,
Yeah,
Willian missed the game at Villa Park last season,
yeah, we did.
so that he was a big miss for them in that game because I don't think they put up any type of XG or anything in that game at Villa Park. That doesn't seem that long ago, to be honest. But yeah, I think that was a good performance in restricting the chances. We didn't create that much, but in terms of like defensively, I thought that was a good performance from us. So
Yeah, it was.
yeah, I think we might probably go William, Pereira, Wilson behind Vinicius. I think.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't. To be honest, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Raheem there's to start. And it just, there is the Wolves links and stuff like that, so that wouldn't surprise me
Yeah,
either.
narrative.
And yeah, you can't beat a narrative, can you? Especially a Jimenez Traore goal. Imagine that.
Yeah. I do think
Yeah,
though
so
defensively with like Bassey, I think Watkins will be looking to press the life out of Bassey. Bassey to me doesn't look comfortable on the ball when receiving. He's prone to an error, so I think pressing wise it will be similar to what we saw against Brighton, where we really made it uncomfortable for them to build up. So hopefully we get some chances from that as well.
yeah, but albeit looking to get a win before the international break. A few things. Shout out to Ollie for getting an England call up. Dougie getting called up back into the Brazilian squad, fully deserved and about time
The
as well.
real Brazilian.
Yeah, so that's great
The
to see
real
as well.
Brazilian man. We spoke about
And
that on here before. Like it's good for him to get a call up.
yeah, for sure. Keeps him happy as well, and it's fully deserved. It's not just a call up out of nowhere. He's fully deserved to get that. Boubacar Kamara's in the squad as well for France, which is good. So all our big players are getting their call ups. They're getting into their international side, so it shows that we're doing good stuff on the pitch as well. Yeah, thanks for this, bro. Thanks for joining me. We'll be there Sunday and just look to get the 3 points and consolidate our position going into the international break.
Yeah, that'll put us on 25, and that will be a nice return from those 12 games.
Yeah, we will do indeed. For everyone, again, if you could drop a comment in the video. We'll respond to them, and also subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for the people joining us in the comments as well. It's good to have you involved, and we enjoy having you commenting as well, so we can interact. Yeah, thanks again, bro, for joining me, and cheers, up the Villa.